Hello everyone. We are going to talk about the deep topic, that is food security. What do you mean by food security? It is the ability of a human being to obtain adequate food on regular basis. Or we can say food security is more than just having two square meals. Two square meals is the new words. That means two full, adequate and nutritious meals in a day a person should get, right? So what are the dimensions or pillars of the food security? There are three dimensions. The first one is the availability. That means food production within the country, food imports, and the stock stored in government granaries. That means food must be available in adequate quantity. Production should also be there in a proper way. Food imports should also be there, and sufficient availability should be there in the government granaries. The next is the accessibility. It means that food is within the reach of every person without any discriminations. Everybody should get access to the food. The next is the affordability. It implies that having enough money to buy sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet one's dietary needs. What are the current framework for food security in India? What are the current framework? The first one is the constitutional provisions. Though the Indian constitution does not have any explicit provision regarding right to food, the fundamental right to life preserved in Article 21 of the Constitution can be interpreted to include the right to live with human dignity, which may include the right to food and other basic necessities. The next point we can see under the heading framework is the buffer stock. Food Corporation of India had the prime responsibility of procuring the food grains at minimum support price and store in warehouses at different locations, and from there it is supplied to the state governments as per the need or at the time of requirement. What do you mean by the minimum support price? It is the rate at which the government purchases crops from farmers and is based on a calculation of at least 1.5 times the cost of production incurred by the farmers. MSP is a minimum price for any crop that government considers as a remunerative for farmers and hence deserving for support. The next current frameworks, next point is PDS, public distribution system. Over the years, PDS has become an important part of government's policy for management of the food economy in the country. Under the PDS, what are the present commodities are being supplied? That is the wheat, rice, sugar, and kerosene are being located to the states and union territories for distributions. Some states or union territories also distribute some additional items through the PDS outlets. For example, pulses, edible oils, iodized salts, spices. The PDS is an Indian food security system established under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distributions. So the another act we can see, National Food Security Act 2013. It covers 75% of the rural populations and 50% of the urban populations. For example, under the Antyodaya Yojana, AAY, it considers the poorest of the poor are entitled to receive 35 kg of food grains per household per month. Priority households are also there. Households covered under the PHS category are entitled to receive 5 kg of food grains per person per month. The eldest woman of the household, having the age 18 years and above, is mandated to be the head of the household for the purpose of issuing ration cards. In addition, the Act lays down a special provision for the children also, for the age between the 6 month and 14 years old, which allows them to receive nutritious meal for free through a widespread network of integrated child development services center known as Anganwadi centers. The next we can see what are the challenges needed to food security in India. What are the challenges? The first one we can say deteriorating soil health. How the soil health is going to deteriorate day by day. A key element of food production is healthy soil because nearly 95% of global food production depends upon the soil. Soil degradations due to excessive or inappropriate use of agrochemicals, deforestation, natural calamities is a significant challenge to the government to sustainable food production. About one third of the earth's soil is already degraded. So this comes under the soil health deteriorations. These are also one of the challenges. The next challenge we can say land degradations caused by human activities that pollute or degrade the quality of soils and land utility. The next point, offensive weed threats. This is also one of the major challenges. In the last 15 years, India has faced more than 10 offensive pest and weed attacks on the crops. Next challenges we can see here, lack of efficient management framework. That is weak oversight of PDS, public distribution system. The PDS, as you know, the backbone of food security of India, but it faces systematic weaknesses. What are the weaknesses? Leakage and diversion of food grains. Subsidized grains often diverted to the open market or black market. That is also one of the drawback. Inclusion and exclusion of the errors. Some deserving households are left out. They are not able to get the food. They are not able to get the food grains, while ineligible ones are included. So fake or duplicate ration cards also one of the challenge, lead to mislocation of food grains. So these are the challenges under the lack of efficient management framework. The next challenges under this heading, poor grievance resolutions. Mechanism for complaints and resolution exist, but often insufficient, slow, or inaccessible, especially in rural areas. Sometimes you can see beneficiaries may not be aware of their rights or how to file the complaints. This is the lack of grievance redressals. Weak social audit is also one of the causes or challenges. Social audits, community monitoring are not consistently implemented, reducing transparency and accountability. This makes it difficult to detect corruption, mismanagement, or fraud in the distribution system. So next challenges we can see crop diversion due to minimum support price policies. This system mainly guarantees purchase of rice and wheat. Diversion is going to take crop diversion is also one of the major challenges. So what is going to happen? The MSP normally guarantees purchase of rice and wheat, while coarse cereals like millets or jowar or bajra, pulses and oilseeds are neglected. Only these things are incorporated in MSP. So as a result, what is going to happen? Farmers have shifted land away from coarse grains, which are more nutritious and climate resilient, towards rice and wheat. This is also one of the diversion is also one of the challenges for food security in India. The next challenge is the climate challenge. India agriculture heavily relies on the monsoons, which provides about 70% of annual rainfall and irrigate about 60% of net sown area. Changing rainfall patterns, irregular precipitations, that means too little or too much rain at wrong times, that means random rain, affects sowing, flowering, and the harvesting. In addition, heavy waves, floods, cyclones, unseasonal rainfalls are becoming more frequent and intense in India, posing a serious threat to food security. The next challenge is the India is facing supply chain disruption due to unstable global order. That means the COVID-19, as we know, pandemic had already impacted food supply around the world in 2020. And in addition, Russia-Ukraine war, which we began in 2022, has disrupted the global supply chain and resulted in food scarcity and food inflation. Russia and Ukraine represent 27% of the world market for wheat. 26 countries, mainly Africa, West Asia, and Asia, depend on Russia, Ukraine for more than 50% of their wheat imports. So what are the solutions? That means way forward for ensuring food security in India. So what we can do, moving towards sustainable farming for ensuring food security in India, improvement in productivity through greater use of biotechnology, intensifying watershed management, use of nano areas, and access to micro irrigation facilities, and bridging crop yield gaps across states through collective approach. So this can help, and this can help in food security in India. There is also a need to look forward towards establishing special agricultural zones through ICT-based crop monitoring. The next point, next solution we can see towards precision agriculture. We should move towards precision agriculture. That means there is need to increase the use of information technology in agriculture to ensure that crops and soil receive exactly what they need for optimum health and productivity. That means awareness to the farmers is needed. So how much fertilizer is required for agriculture land? So by adopting precision agriculture with high-tech farming practices, farmer incomes will increase, input cost of productions will be decreased or reduced. The next solution for food security, revitalizing Aadhaar seeding of ration cards to speed up the process of Aadhaar linking to ration cards. Ground monitoring measures must be taken that will ensure no valid beneficiary left out of their share of food grains that can give trust to the aim of zero hunger, which comes under the Sustainable Goal 2. As we know that 17 SDG sustainable goals are there. The second is second indicates the zero hunger. The next solution we can provide direct benefit transfer through JAM, Jan Dhan Aadhaar or mobile. There is a need to streamline food and fertilizer subsidies into direct benefit transfer to accounts of identified beneficiary through the JAM Trinity platform. This is the Trinity platform, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and mobiles. So this can also help for the food security. This can also ensure the food security. The next we can see ensuring transparency in food stock holding. Using IT to improve communication channels with farmers can help them to get a better deal for their produce or productions. Food grains banks can be deployed at block and PDS level, from which people may get subsidized food grains against food coupons that can be provided to Aadhaar linked beneficiary. So this is all about the topic food security. We talked about what we mean by food security. What are the different dimensions or pillar of the food security? What are the current framework for food security in India? What are the challenges related to food security in our country? Way forward for ensuring food security in India. That is solutions. What solutions we can provide? So these are all about the today lecture. Thank you.